NFL DFS Monday Night Showdown slate for FanDuel and DraftKings, lineup analysis, and picks for tonight's slate. I'm Brian Jester, co-founder here at Occupy Fantasy, $1 million single game winner. Now, this video will be a quick run through of tonight's slate. It's going to be very high level, even more high level than the videos we've been doing in the past for two reasons. One, the daily plug on OccupyFantasy.com will be up today detailing our thoughts in depth on every play and the strategies that you should deploy for tonight's slate. And two, we're doing a live Twitch stream at 6 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/OccupyFantasy, where we'll take your questions and go through some more detailed strategy for tonight's slate, solely because it's a massive prize pool on DraftKings, $500,000 to first place. And while we generally tell you to avoid GPPs because of the unbalanced payouts, this one's actually not nearly as bad as some of the other Showdown GPPs on DraftKings. The min cash is a little higher, and the top 10% is a little bit lower, which is actually a good thing for balanced payouts. When I saw the $500,000 to first, I thought for sure this would be an incredibly top-heavy payout, and it still sort of is, with second place only $100,000. So only play that if you can afford it. But again, it should be an interesting showdown tonight. Mexico City Chiefs and the Chargers, high total game. So really quickly, let's take a look. If you decide to play low risk contest tonight, I think there's a way you can fit Patrick Mahomes in your captain spot, which is what you want to do. Highest floor, highest ceiling on the slate. You want to put Mahomes in your captain spot, and you can do that on both sites. Mahomes. But what you'll have to do is, if you want to get Mahomes in your captain spot or into your lineup for low risk, you'll have to figure out which one of these high price guys you fade. Generally in low risk, as you know, we like to play two quarterbacks, two running backs, and then finish it off with some value. Fortunately, Melvin Gordon and Damian Williams are affordable. They're not the highest priced running backs on the slate, which always makes it nice. So if you put Melvin Gordon in, you put Damian Williams. Notice Damian Williams has a questionable tag. He was had some personal issues, but did actually fly to Mexico City with the team. So he should be good to go for tonight. Damian Williams. And now, if you try to put Phillip Rivers in, you can do that. And what you do is you just have kicker defense. Very possible. You can certainly do this. You could also upgrade Rivers to Keenan Allen, who's a high floor possession receiver. You could go to Tyreek Hill and switch up your captain. So certainly ways to get some high floor plays into your low risk lineup tonight. FanDuel, roughly similar. Mahomes at captain, and then Melvin Gordon. Probably want to go Keenan Allen on FanDuel, just because look at his price. Despite his heavy volume, 8th highest priced player on the slate. So you can go Keenan, you can go Damian Williams. 7,500, that doesn't leave us very much. So you'll probably have to get rid of whether it's Damian or Melvin Gordon, one of the two. As always, it's not nearly as easy on FanDuel as it is on DraftKings, unless there's a punt play that is underpriced due to an injury or a role change. Not the case tonight. So FanDuel, a little trickier, per the usual, for low-risk lineups. Now, what you probably came here for is your high-risk contests, your GPPs, your satellites, and we do think it's a great GPP night, great high-risk night in general. So in the daily plug on OccupyFantasy.com, we will likely be recommending most of your allocation in high-risk contests tonight, which normally means a lower bankroll allocation because of the high-risk aspect to it. You're going to lose more often than you win. So you can't risk as much of your bankroll tonight, so be sure to keep that in mind. Now, high total game, that means we love to use receivers in our captain spot. Now, I know you're going to say, Brian, but what about Mahomes? This guy has the highest ceiling on the slate. For sure. However, is he going to be the highest scorer on the slate? And does his ownership reflect his chances at being the highest scorer? Now, last two primetime slates, think back to Chiefs and Colts way back early in the season. Mahomes was 91% owned, captained in 30% of lineups in the big DraftKings GPP. When they played Denver, October 17th, Thursday night slate, Mahomes was nearly as highly owned, 80%, like 25% captain. That was the game. Mahomes left early to injury. Pure hashtag chaos, as we like to say at Occupy Fantasy. Also remember tonight that Mahomes still has that knee issue. Jay Glazer of Fox Sports reported that, and medical professionals have confirmed this, that even though Mahomes is cleared to play, there's a 10 to 15% chance of redislocating his knee until he gets the surgery to stabilize the ligaments around it. So, while we don't wish injury on anyone, that means Mahomes has roughly a 10% chance of redislocating his knee tonight and leaving the game early. That alone is enough to go under the field, I think. And then you add in the fact that receivers are generally the best plays at your captain spot in high-risk contests, higher ceilings. You definitely do not want to play Mahomes in your captain spot tonight for high-risk contests. Game theory purely in mind here. So receivers we like, obviously Tyreek Hill in your captain spot. Whopping 19 targets last week in Mahomes' return. Keenan Allen, of course, still underperforming relative to his air yards. Mike Williams, who we've talked about seemingly endlessly on OccupyFantasy.com. His air yards actually have not been there the last couple of weeks. But again, high total game. He's a pretty cheap option. I imagine he'll be kind of popular tonight at just 5,800 in the captain spot. Or 5,800 in the flex spot, sorry. Sammy Watkins, he'll go under-owned with everyone on Tyreek Hill. And then don't forget the tight ends as well. Travis Kelce, Hunter Henry, both high-volume options. And you can play the game script a couple ways. Remember, in my $1 million winning Super Bowl GPP, there was a similar total in that game, 54 points. It went well under the total, but there was still a receiver, Julian Edelman, in the captain spot because he was the highest scorer due to the receptions he racked up. And I think you can look at it similarly here. Maybe Tyreek Hill does that. Maybe Travis Kelce does that. Maybe Keenan Allen does that. Maybe Hunter Henry does that, which means you don't necessarily need a quarterback to pair with those guys, especially if it's a low-scoring game script that you're projecting. So, again, always keep this in mind when building your lineups. High-scoring game, yeah, you probably want the quarterback with your receiver captain. If you think it's going to be a lower-scoring game or you build a lineup around a lower-scoring game, then you don't necessarily need that quarterback captain. All right, again, like I said, this was going to be a quick video just to give you some high-level strategy for tonight's slate, even shorter than our usual 10 minutes. But again, this is just a jumping off point because early this afternoon we're going to have the daily plug up on OccupyFantasy.com. We talk about every expensive play, every value play, how they rank in our Occupy model, our real-time player dashboard. We're going to discuss high-risk and low-risk lineup strategy, which players to use in the captain spot, and then we're going to talk about the types of contests you should play based on all of this information. And then you'll definitely want to join us at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. The link is in the description below, twitch.tv/OccupyFantasy. It's a live stream, and we will answer your questions live, and we'll discuss even more in-depth strategy, especially as inactives come in, because it could be interesting tonight with a couple of guys. So that'll do it. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at OccupyFantasy. Follow me at Brian Jester FF. If you like what we do, click the thumbs up for this video. Also, be sure to subscribe. Get our latest videos. We're doing multiple videos per week, so you'll want to subscribe to get the latest videos directly to your feed. And if you have any questions, as always, leave a comment below. We'll get back to them before the slate starts. Again, daily plug, OccupyFantasy.com, Twitch stream, twitch.tv/OccupyFantasy tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. You'll want to read and then join our stream for full, complete information tonight. All right, appreciate you listening. Good luck, and we'll see you soon.